Do it.
Okay, and we're starting off here.
Yay!
We're at week 12 of the NFL season. You know me, you know him. We are Joe and Joe. Right now, Mike Concho and Ricky Bobby.
Double J if you want to go, a little bit cool.
Oh, it's JJ. You got to ask. Can't afford it.
Double J Jeff Jarrett.
He is the chosen one.
He hit Beetlejuice with a guitar. He smacked the shit out of him with it.
Poor Beetlejuice, but he had to come.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He did.
All right.
Yep.
So,
You're good.
so I know you had to leave a little early last week.
I
Since,
did.
since Matt,
Absolutely.
a lot of I would say the only shock. Well, I wouldn't say shocker, but only maybe kind of. It was a good game. Buffalo, Kansas City.
I picked Buffalo. I think you picked Kansas City.
Yeah, it's
If I know we didn't get to that pick, but I was gonna pick Buffalo. And I know you've been on the Kansas City just because it's hard to go against an undefeated team.
yeah, but I'm
And
still not. I'm still not surprised by Buffalo winning.
Oh no, Buffalo. In order to win against the Chiefs, and this is going to be the formula is you have to get a 2-possession lead with 2 minutes left in the game. That is it. Because if you do, we know Mahomes will have that magic, right? And he's phenomenal at the 2-minute drive, going for the game winners or game tying, and that's just he's clutch when he has to be. Even though when he didn't perform, he threw 2 interceptions against Buffalo. I mean, if you want to count the last one, go for it. That was like you got to try to make a play happen, right? At that point, you're throwing the ball up. Trying to hope someone makes a play, and it got intercepted. The first one, he threw it right to the safety on the ball, Tyler Rapp.
And unless I'm confusing with another game, didn't one of them get tipped? Technically, wasn't their fault, or was that? Am I thinking of another game?
I think you're thinking of another game, because Josh Allen also threw a pick in that game, and he kind of didn't throw it high enough, and the defender jumped up and got it. But it was a good game. I mean, I wasn't disappointed. It was a good I guess game offensive bout. Bills went down and scored. Chiefs went down and scored. There was a couple good stops. There was good defense. I couldn't ask for a better game. And then Josh coming in clutch on a crucial 4th and 2, and taking off for 26 yards for the game sealing TD to make it a 2-possession game. Like, it was Josh Allen. I say Josh being Josh. Like, he wasn't going to be denied. He knew what he had to do, and he did it. Now, obviously, these teams will meet again in the playoffs. Playoffs? It's hopefully Josh Allen can get over that hump, because he is now like 0-3 against the Chiefs in the playoffs, and like 3-1 in the regular season against them. So they know the winning formula.
They're definitely firing on all cylinders right now, and beating Kansas City, given their first loss, should definitely be an ego boost.
And Buffalo's going into a bye week, beating an undefeated team, and then they come back. I think they actually no. The 12th they play 2 weeks from now. They play the Lions, and that'll be another good game.
Yeah. Speaking of the Lions, I don't think anybody's shocked about the 52-6 victory.
I'm not shocked that they won. I'm shocked that that's the second time this season the Lions put up 50 points or better.
But on the way home from dropping off Katie at work, listened to ESPN and
ESPN?
ESPN,
Yeah.
and apparently this is the first time in Lions history that they are favored to win the Super Bowl. Like, I just thought, I was like, never thought about it just because it's been the freaking Lions. But first time in history.
Yeah, that's huge.
If I was them, that would be a huge confidence thing. Not just thinking that we know we're good, but everybody else is, putting us up there.
The Lions are the NFC juggernaut. AFC, there's too many good teams, and the records at times don't reflect that good team. Like the Ravens are sitting at 7-4, but I consider them a Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah, I would definitely put it Kansas City, um, Kansas City or Buffalo #1, Kansas City or Buffalo #2. You
You
could,
can't
I
even
think,
you can't take
one
out
and then
Pittsburgh, even
and
how
then
they're playing.
and then Ravens 3, maybe Pittsburgh 4
Like
again, or flip flop them.
it is nuts how the AFC is taking out. They got a lot of good teams. NFC, the two teams to beat in the NFC are or not the Rams, the Lions and the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles, the defense finally figured it out. The defense is stepping up, and they're starting to get on this win streak. So,
And you got Minnesota is still up there. Texans,
yeah,
I
the
think you'd
Texans
make an
answer the door.
argument for
They just spanked the Cowboys.
Washington. At this point, no, as a Giants fan, I know the feeling. Um, I'm starting to feel bad for Dallas.
Well, Dallas is, you know, they're lost. Um, I do foresee this is Mike McCarthy's last season, just because I think he lost the locker room. Dallas is they're not playing well with all these star-studded talent. You can't go from I think they were 12-5 last season again. You know,
Now they're
obviously
three and
talked
six.
about playoff hopeful, Super Bowl favorite, Dallas Cowboys, and then you hear that song in the background, bouncing on my booty cheeks. I love the way he rides. It's the Cowboys theme song, by the way. Um,
The Brokeback Cowboys.
hold me, Heath, hold me. Uh,
Anything for you, Jake Gyllenhaal?
that jawline.
He does have excellent bone structure.
Just, you know, just the right amount of scruff. Anyway, we're getting off topic here.
Speaking of shit shows, what can you say about the Meadowlands teams that haven't already been said about Afghanistan?
um, Ali
Historic, historically speaking, when one New York team was good, the other was bad. If the Giants sucked, the Jets were good. If the Jets sucked, which is a majority of the time, the Giants were good. Now both are just like, the fuck? The Jets lost.
The New York teams have found their soulmate with one another.
Yeah, each other. They should just
The Jets are, I think it has a combination of the coaching change in the Jets and also Aaron Rodgers being potentially not the old Aaron Rodgers that we know. He is 40, and he's trying to play, beyond that. Not everyone can. I mean, and have good stats. I mean, there's only, I can only think of one quarterback that did it and played like, he hasn't missed a beat, and that was Tom Brady.
yeah.
Um
Not
Aaron
not every
Rodgers,
not every quarterback is Tom Brady or Joe Montana.
no, and I think Aaron Rodgers should, probably, he should probably take a step back. I did read an article that I think the Jets still want to bring him back one more time. They did sign him for 3 years. You might as well try to get 3 years out of him. But that's you signed Aaron Rodgers expecting to bring a Lombardi trophy. Like, you thought the missing piece for the Jets was a quarterback. You bring in Aaron Rodgers, here it is. And first season he tore his Achilles in three plays in, and then this season they're sitting at 3-7 or 3-8.
Yeah. The like you said, you sign Aaron Rodgers, you expect Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Even at 3/4 of what he was, he's still friggin' Aaron Rodgers, and he's still better than most quarterbacks.
Well, the way he's playing now, he's not.
Yeah, with what he's showing us, it's not good. And last year, tearing his Achilles, shit happens. Like you're like, the fuck. You can't expect that. All you could say is, okay, next man up. But coming into this season, what we've seen,
there was high hopes for that Jets team. Talk about they were taking, Jets are going to win the AFC East. Heavy favorited because they didn't know what Buffalo was going to do with Josh Allen didn't have no wide receivers. What Matt or what Tua was going to do in Miami. They a lot of in the AFC East they counted Buffalo out of it, and now Buffalo's got a substantial lead in that division. I believe they are 5 games.
AFC East is theirs, as far as I'm concerned.
They're 5 or 6 games ahead from second place in their division. So flipping to the other side of the Meadowlands, let's talk about the Giants. I think I called it last week. I said I think Daniel Jones I feel that he's taking his last snap. And lo and behold, Monday morning, first alert I get is the Giants are benching Daniel Jones in favor of Tommy Cutlets. Or Tommy DeVito for people who don't know Tommy Cutlets. There's the moon of is it the smart move? It is. I mean, at this point, you got nothing to lose, and you're protecting $23 million injury clause in a contract if you have Daniel Jones continue to play and take hits. So,
Giants are good. And just because you gave Daniel Jones all that money, and a lot of people called it all that money for no damn reason.
4 years, 160 million. Let me just remind people.
Yeah. And if I was Daniel Jones, good for him. I would sign that contract all day.
It's like, holy shit, it worked.
I don't know what the fuck I did to get here, but I'm here.
We want to offer you this. Fucking really?
I'm not even going to argue. I'll take my chances. But if DeVito runs out there, Tommy DeVito, not Danny. I mean, you know what? Danny DeVito might be an upgrade at this point.
But definitely be a little more humorous. So anyway, I just started blasting.
I'm the trash man. If he goes out there and he doesn't even have to win the game, right? Against Tampa, but if he goes out there and he puts up a good showing, okay, he gave him some time to develop and figure it out, and hopefully it works out.
I don't think DeVito's not the answer for the Giants in the future. I think they put him in over Drew Lock is because the spark DeVito brought in the 5 starts he won. I mean, he won a Monday nighter against the Packers last season. He led a game-winning drive. It was a huge victory for the Giants because the Giants it only had 5 last year. And to win in prime time was huge if you're a Giants fan. So I think he definitely brings a different type of energy. He's not the savior of this franchise this season. The season is lost. Being 2-8, coming off a bye and playing not a hungry Tampa Bay team, but Tampa Bay is a good team. Do I expect the Giants to win? No. Am I still going to pick them for this week? Absolutely.
I'll fill that in now.
Thank you.
So you skip over
it. And there's feeling, I guess, in the building that Brian Dable is playing, starting him because he's got, coaching for his job at this point. I still think Dable and Shane are going to be safe next season. You give Dable a quarterback with potential. I don't think Daniel Jones had, the same amount of potential as you would think like a Josh Allen. Because Dable spent 3 or 4 seasons with Allen, bringing him up. He was, offensive coordinator. He worked closely with him, and look what Josh Allen is doing. Daniel Jones, okay, he can run, he can throw the ball, but is he Allen? No. Daniel Jones is rather limited. He doesn't see the entire field. He proved that against, as I thought, the worst team in the NFL being the Carolina Panthers. And lo and behold, I think the Giants are the worst team in the NFL. As far as ranking, I mean, I understand Jacksonville holds the number 1 pick, but let's face it, if Jacksonville played the Giants right now, I honestly think Jacksonville would win.
There's, we said when we first started this that by this time we'll see who the teams were.
Oh yeah,
and we already know pretty much our playoff teams, our Super Bowl contenders, but we also know not only who the bad teams are, like Carolina, Jacksonville. That's expected, but to see the Giants, Dallas,
Bengals,
even the Jets, complete shit shows. Like it's beyond bad at this point.
Definitely, I feel more. I don't know the expectation with the Giants. I mean, being a Giants fan, maybe I had high hopes with them, and I said a winning record. I didn't say playoffs. I said winning record. And obviously, I was a gross oversight. The biggest, I guess, shit show would have been Dallas, right? Dallas every year has always been, Super Bowl favorites. They got this defense and, Dak, CD Lamb, and they're sitting at 3-7, one of their worst starting seasons ever under Mark McCarthy, or even recent history that me or you could probably think of. Better part of the 2 decades. I mean, Dallas is. I mean, they're playing, if the Giants play Dallas, and I believe they got one more matchup, I honestly think the Giants can take them just because how poorly Dallas is playing. And I understand the Giants are playing poorly too, but Dallas is in disarray, more disarray than the Giants.
Yeah, and not to pile on Dallas, everybody, the joke always is America's team. This is our year, yada yada yada.
We them boys.
Yeah, we them boys. But like Dallas is always there. You know what I mean? Even when Romo was there, his worst seasons were 8-8, but they were still in talks of the playoffs and stuff like that. This is just, and I can't even blame Dak. I can't blame Zeke. I can't blame Micah. I can't you guys did injury, blah, this, that, the other thing. It's just it's not even as a Cowboys fan, I'm frustrated for Cowboys fans because I know how it is to watch your team just be utter garbage. And this is gonna be on the internet, and internet's forever. And I can't believe I actually said that, but it's.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I mean, the fact that Washington is going in 7-3, 7-4 at this point,
7-3,
and everybody else is where's New York? Where's Dallas? Washington.
I believe they might be 7-4. Yeah, they're
Go.
I mean, it's you know, in due time. I think every team. I think you know Dallas is insane with the Giants. So I'll speak for both teams. Are a product of their own doing. Right? They did this to themselves by you know, securing a quarterback who wasn't rightfully deserving of a huge contract. I'm speaking of Giants at this point. Dak didn't deserve being the highest paid quarterback ever of all time, but I was speaking of Giants, like Daniel Jones isn't worth 160 million. I'll put it that plain and simple all
And,
day. Like he
and to
hasn't
be
proven
and,
he only had the one playoff victory to his credit, and he had one of his best seasons too, but you can't say all right, I had one good season, now pay me. And this is where I think it was more of an owner move, not necessarily a GM coach move. They were given the owner said, hey, this is our guy, you work with him. And it's like, well, all right. It's like going into a job and you need um, all these, like an open wrench set, but all you got is a crescent wrench. So it's gonna slip.
yeah, and to be fair, Dak is by far a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. Like you could argue how much better, but he is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. So,
Yeah, here we go. You know,
and again, I can't believe I said that, but
I can't believe it's not butter.
who could believe it's not butter? Chuck Norris. He believes it's not butter.
Fucking Chuck Norris.
All right, moving on to week 12. Get week 12 started here.
Okay.
Thursday night, Pittsburgh at Cleveland.
Pittsburgh.
Agreed. Cleveland's one of those teams where everybody just expects them to be bad, and they are not disappointing.
Hey, I want to show you something.
Ooh, the boots.
My old combat boots. Bought in Taji, Iraq in 2008.
And they're still around. They just refuse to die.
I mean, yeah. Soul could use a little work, but they're comfortable as hell.
Oh yeah, those boots are like sneakers. They were
Those
so
those
comfortable.
Bell those Belvilles, man. I mean, if you've ever slipped into like slippery goodness, that is a boot.
They, they they just caress your foot with pillowy softness,
It's
like
ribbed
Charmin
for
Ultra
it's
soft.
ribbed for my pleasure.
Because you know what, you need it when wearing those boots. You need as much pleasure as you can get.
I know. Hot and slip it on, right?
Those boots hakatua all over your feet.
Anyway,
When you put
continue.
when you put your foot into them, they're like, "Oh yeah, daddy." So we already talked about Tampa Bay and New York. Another.
Are you picking Tampa Bay?
No, I picked New York too because I'm also a glutton for punishment. Kansas City and Carolina.
I mean, I know
We're
what I
gonna need
want to say, but it'd be funny if they lost two in a row.
and then to Carolina.
Fuck it, I'm picking Carolina.
All right. Once I write it all out and it's locked in.
Fuck it, I'm picking Carolina.
Why not?
I'll be the last one laughing if that one comes. I can get all the other games wrong. If that one comes true, I fucking win.
Season's over.
Game over, man. It's over.
Joe just got 30 points, and may God have mercy on his soul.
You are, in fact, dumber. Everyone in this room is now in here dumber for having to listen to what you had to say. A simple no would have sufficed.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Dallas at Washington.
Washington.
Agreed.
Washington. I mean, Dallas should start thinking about trading away players. I was it's bad coming into the off season, like start thinking about trading players to rebuild. I was just watching something and I completely agree. Like trade away Micah, get picks, build around your team, build your team back up. Because you can get probably 2 first rounds at a minimum for Micah Parsons. But anyway, we'll go on to the next picks. But yeah, Washington, by 20.
By 20.
By 20. You writing that down?
Yeah, I wrote it on the paper.
Fuck.
New England at Miami.
My ooh. I almost slipped there. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah.
Well, I'm going Miami. I still think they're better than New England. And
I think I'm gonna go the opposite. I'll go New England. Just because they're division rivals and they know each other. And Drake May has been playing actually pretty decent considering the record that New England has. So I'll go New England.
okay. Tennessee versus Houston.
I mean Houston.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean Tennessee be you know,
I picked Tennessee to lose.
yeah.
I just
Is that
wrote
good? Is that good coffee?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I
Store
wouldn't I would have had coffee, but I got a Baja Blast, so
Blast.
Baja Blast.
Detroit versus Indianapolis.
Detroit.
I can't even rationalize doing the Carolina type pick. I can't
Dan
imagine.
Campbell is got to have the biggest dick in the NFL. The way how he just coaches and he could have pulled his starters. He didn't. he just kept long dicking the Jaguars until he got up to 50 points.
He's like, I am gonna take this cat. You see this cat? Yeah, I'm gonna fuck it.
I'm not I am 100% against rape, but what the Lions did to the Jaguars, someone should report it.
He took pounding that pussy way too literally.
You talking about a walk of shame? I think
You know what? Jacksonville should just never leave Jacksonville. You know, just
if that's the franchise to represent U.S. in England. I think we should give them the. You know what? Yeah, you can have them.
you want Kansas City? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. We're gonna give you Jacksonville and Carolina. And then Germany, you get Cleveland and the Jets. Just the shittiest team. Send them over
The Berlin Jets.
there. The Bombers. All right, Minnesota versus Chicago.
Minnesota.
The Bears.
You pick the Bears?
No.
Oh.
Denver versus
Denver.
the Raiders.
It didn't matter. Denver.
Because I am also a glutton for punishment, I am going to continue to pick the Raiders.
Folks, he wants to sleep in the same bed as his wife. I do not blame him. Just because the Raiders are losing, he's still picking them to win, regardless if they lose. He wins.
I got to be right eventually.
I hope you continue thinking that, because even when you think you're right and your wife, your wife is wrong, you're still wrong.
Yes, always.
So,
all right, San Francisco versus Green Bay.
Green Bay. What are you picking?
The safe pick is definitely Green Bay.
You didn't move for like 15 seconds. I thought the screen froze. Like you were completely fucking still. That was impressive. Yeah, right. I think I'm having internet issues. The lights are still blinking behind you.
I can't hear you. Okay.
Okay.
To think right, and I'm trying to think rationally on my pick here to justify my pick. Green Bay barely beat the Bears.
That's divisional though. They're gonna play tough.
And San Francisco barely lost to Seattle.
I'm going based on better team. And right now, I'm sorry, Green Bay is compared to San Francisco is the better team.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to rationalize my wanting to pick for San Francisco. So yeah, San Francisco. I could see them upsetting, squeaking one out by a field goal, maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay runs all over. Arizona at Seattle.
Arizona.
I'll agree with you on that one. Philadelphia versus the Rams. Almost called them St. Louis again.
I want to flip it. I think the Rams will upset.
But excuse me. What do you think the point spread will be on that one?
5. Oh, hang on. I thought that wrong. The margin of victory will be 5. The points probably be, I will go 24-27 Rams. You looked at me, you looked at the field like, fucking 5? Really? It's going to be a field goal and a safety?
That's like 24-27. That doesn't equal 5.
The point spread, I think, no. I was going to say, like, it's going to be a difference. I think the margin of it, 5 or less, probably. I think, obviously, I think a field goal is going to decide that game.
And I should have said point differential. Where are they going to win by?
If any time a Philadelphia fan loses and cries, we all win.
And Angel gets their wings.
And you know what? Every time every time you sneeze, an angel fakes an orgasm.
So Tiff must be faking a lot of orgasms because you sneeze a lot.
I have allergies.
Anyway, the Monday night game.
Fuck Monday night.
Baltimore versus the Chargers.
Ooh.
I'm
See,
going
the
Baltimore.
Chargers are slowly up and coming, right? I mean, they've been quietly winning games, and no one's been paying a whole lot of attention to them. They've been a run the ball first team. I'm going to go with the latter. I'm going to go against the favorite. I'm going to pick the Chargers. It'll be favorite. It'd be the J.K. Dobbins playing his former team. And I think he'll have something to prove. Like, y'all didn't want to re-sign me. Granted, the Ravens have Derrick Henry, but That's all I got to say.
I thought you were gonna continue.
I must have had myself about 13 of those Dr. Peppers.
Yeah, I gotta pay.
I gotta pay. The Chargers are gonna be running the ball.
And you know, with Baltimore being as good as they are, they know that Chargers are going to be running, they're probably going to force them to throw. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, you always want to stop. I'm a big proponent. I mean, wherever your strength is with your defense, obviously a good key to a good passing game is having a good running game, right? To develop that play action. You stop the run, you're gonna make the player. You're gonna make them one dimensional. That's football 101. I mean, you know that, right? So you go in, you want to stop the run. The Chargers are a run heavy, run first type of team. Same with the Ravens, right? I mean, you're not gonna have Derrick Henry in the backfield to throw the ball fucking 60% of the time or 70% of the time. You're gonna give that big man the ball and hopefully he runs over a few people. I think both teams you got to go in preparing to stop the run. Um, and that's gonna, I think that's honestly gonna be the deciding victory. Whichever team can stop the run first. And the Ravens is gonna be a little more difficult because you got Lamar Jackson who can take off at any given point and run in the open field. So I mean, the Chargers got an uphill battle. But I think it's something that they can do. I didn't, like they won convincingly last week. I believe it was like 28-7 against the team last week, if I'm correct.
Let me double check.
He's got to go to his paper from last week, folks.
Chargers won 34-27.
Oh, okay.
And Pittsburgh beat Baltimore 18-16.
I'm still going to stick with the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh has changed that culture in that team. Run first. They got a good quarterback in Justin Herbert. I'm not saying they're going to make noise. I'm saying, if they get into the playoffs, they'll play spoiler. They're going out there saying they compete with anyone, right? I think the record's currently 6-4, 7-4.
Yeah, like you said, they've been quietly doing it, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, they're 7 and something now.
So, that speaks volumes. You're just kind of in play, play with that underdog mentality. Like, yeah, doubt us. You know, the Giants did that in their Super Bowl runs, right? I mean, no one counted the Giants, especially in 2007. You know, even 2011, that Super Bowl run being a 9-17, going to winning their division with a 9-7 record, going on this run. It was exciting as hell to watch. I mean, but I like, they kind of play like a little bit of a chip, like, yeah, doubt us. Giants, the only game the Giants were favored in that run was against the Falcons in the wild card round. Every other team they played, they were not favored to win. They had to go against Green Bay. They had a 15-1 record. Then they had to go to San Francisco, and they were 13-4 with the number one defense. Then they go play Tom Brady again in the Super Bowl. I mean, I might have to go watch highlights and shed a tear later, but I'll do me later.
Watch the 2011 highlight reels and masturbate furiously in the kitchen.
I got the DVD. I got those playoff runs on DVD. I found the collections, both from 2007 and 2011. So there's like over 8 hours of jerking off per collection. So that's 16 hours of jerking it.
Just make sure you stay hydrated.
My fridge has a water dispenser.
Nice. Put,
Yes.
mainline it right into your vein. Just
Be mainline somewhere. Just kind of just go. Ah,
my hand
go
is cramping here.
go web go.
So yeah, we're going. Anything else you would like to add? Any other topics you would like to talk about?
Um, for our 7 viewers, make good choices.
Awfully generous.
Don't 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 beat your spouse. Don't kick your dog. And remember, babies aren't dishwasher safe.
Definitely not. And don't
Oh,
use
they,
Earl Pet.
that should be on like a Snapple cap or something. That's one thing they should bring back, a Snapple fax.
Yes, I
You know,
I haven't had a Snapple in a while.
thank you, son. Thank you, Summer Peach.
But it's one of those things. Like in the future they're going to ask, what was the downfall of Snapple? And I think we'd all agree it started with the going away from the old school glass bottles,
Mhm.
and
And that
it did-
sound with the cap coming off, the pop.
it hit the bottom, and then taking away the Snapple facts.
And we wonder why our youth is not educated.
Yeah, in most of my high school career, I passed tests just
The answers are right in front of us. All you had to do is spend $1.19.
yeah. Like, oh crap, what's the answer to question number 12? Go into your cargo shorts. Snapple fact number 159. Got it. Put it back in your pocket. You pass it around the class. Everybody gets it right.
I mean, I think if you have a cap full of Snapple facts, I think that's just impressive. You know,
That's what we
that's what
will.
that's one thing they should bring back is the glass jar, the glass bottle, and Snapple facts. I don't think that's too much.
Yeah, it's like what are that's the real downfall of civilization.
That and do you remember the Sobe drinks?
Oh, Sobe Life Water. Oh my God.
I love the Sobe green tea.
The green tea, and then there was like another one that I absolutely loved.
Just they'll never know. No one will, Jolt Cola.
Surge. Pretty sure that stuff kills your friggin' sperm count.
Oh, whatever, man. They brought it back here for a little bit. Burger King had it. Five Below was selling it, and then it's kind of faded out again. But when it was out in the market again, I was reliving my childhood. My stepdad, he was a truck driver, and I think one skid got damaged, and we had like 15 cases of Surge, and that's how I got introduced to Surge. Was that? I mean, it was like, holy shit! Like this is like way better than Mountain Dew. When Burger King said they're bringing back Surge, I'm like, oh fuck yes! And people are like, what's that? And I go, have you ever tasted a dream?
Have you ever swam in the river, the rivers of heaven?
That's what Surge is.
You know, it's pulled from the purified waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah. That's the main ingredient is water from Lake Minnetonka. And then all the bad chemicals that we put into our foods and drinks and all that, but at least you're getting water from Lake Minnetonka.
You know, remember
Crystal Pepsi.
I was just gonna say Christmas season of 2016. Pepsi brought back Crystal Pepsi, and I was like, "Holy shit!" When I bought one, I was like, "Feel like a solid 2 decades."
Okay, keep talking. I'm gonna take this on the road since it's on my phone, so we can talk longer. I'll just be driving, but whatever, it'll be
Okay.
fine. It'll be whatever. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Pop open that bottle, and I'm like, huh, tastes like Pepsi.
And that was the crazy thing because, like, do you remember when they came out with the clear ketchup?
I don't remember clear ketchup, but I remember the purple and green shit.
That was weird. The purple or green ketchup on it, and then it's like, holy shit, how do they like? Being younger, it's like it was mind blowing. And our parents are like, it's fucking food coloring, you moron. How are you passing school if you can't put that connection together?
Mom, where do they get the purple tomatoes from? Idiot.
Like, if anyone deserved to get smacked across the head a few times, it's us trying to figure out how they made this crazy shit. Right? I mean, it was remember the blue? Pepsi Blue?
Oh yeah, just Crystal Pepsi with blue food coloring in it.
It's like
You're not fooling us anymore, Pepsi.
it's like fool me once, shame on me, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Pepsi's like, okay, we did it enough.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you fooled me once, you can't fool me again.
It was Pepsi, and that was cool. And
The
sorry,
90s was just a wild time of them throwing shit against the wall and seeing what stuck. And then realizing it didn't work. And then realizing 30 years later that everybody we were trying to market to are adults now with adult money.
but if they bring that stuff back, us as adults, we're gonna go out and buy it.
I must have bought like 4 or 5 of those cases of friggin' Ecto Cooler when they brought it back out.
Oh, jeez. It was it's like this the thing, like, with our parents, like my dad was telling me stories about like the beer balls. Like Labatt or something had a beer balls, essentially like an eighth keg you can go out and buy. And it was like a ball of beer.
And then there was, early 2000s, they had those mini kegs. And Joe froze.
See? There we go.
Yeah, I
Just
remember that.
I got away from my Wi-Fi.
That you got to watch out for that Wi-Fi. Apparently, it turns the frogs gay.
Turns the what gay?
Turns the frogs gay.
The frogs?
Frogs, the ribbits.
The frogs? Amphibians?
Yeah, the 5G. 5G turns frogs gay.
Mm.
Source: Alex Jones. Turning the frogs gay.
Turning the frogs gay. This stuff is just living, I think growing up in the 90s, I know like our parents would say growing up in the 70s or whatever was the best, but the 90s, I think, just out of control because Mountain Dew was at like the peak and saying they had the most caffeine, and then Jolt Cola came out, twice as much caffeine as like Mountain Dew, and that was a whole slogan. Like this drink will kill you, but buy it.
And you know what? Comparatively speaking, now that's not so bad. How many friggin' energy drinks are there on the fucking market now?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm drinking one right now. Java Monster.
So it's like, 1998 or 97 or whenever the hell Jolt Cola came out. That was a big deal. Like, oh my God, this is way too much fucking caffeine. And now here we are in 2024, friggin' 500 milligrams of caffeine, 1,000 milligrams of caffeine. And people are friggin' shotgunning that shit. Thanks, Joel.
Yeah, now we got 5-hour energy.
Shit's fucking gross. You ever look at a 5-hour energy? Like just open it up and like pour it out?
No, I've only had one, and it tasted like fucking Robitussin in my eyes.
Oh, it's absolutely disgusting. But if you ever look at 5-hour energy before you drink it or before you mix it in water or whatever, it looks like semen.
Ew.
You remember in Ashraf, Power Bar had those power gels?
Yes, I knew exactly where you're going.
And you would rip open the top and you just shoot it in your mouth?
Well, if you're only gonna do it, that's how you got to do it. I'm assuming.
And you always had to say no homo before you did it?
Ah!
Like that scene from Ted when he's working at the supermarket and he's got the lotion bottle.
Okay, that's where we'll draw the line.
What, you have a problem with the teddy bears doing sexual innuendos?
No, but when it's a teddy bear getting straight up bukkake, I think okay. I think this is where the line should be.
It's a bear cocky.
Oh, I like it. Oh, Joe, that was good. You get to keep that one.
Thank you.
That was good. That was good. Bear cocky.
You know, and you wonder why women are choosing the bear because of that.
The bear's not afraid to take it in the eye. I mean, I got hopefully my son doesn't watch this episode.
Dad, what's bukkake?
It's a cereal.
Don't tell him that because he's got to go looking for it.
Go to Mark. Can you tell me where bukkake is?
He's going to be on the internet. Bukkake. How do you spell that, Dad? B. Hockey.
B hockey.
Wait, what's a bukkake? You see when a woman and a couple guys kind of like each other.
A couple? You mean like 20?
Hey, it could be 2, could be 12. I don't know.
Have you ever seen a freshly glazed Krispy Kreme?
I was gonna say, you know, however many people, somebody's got to walk out of there like a glazed donut. Somebody's got to walk away sticky.
Oh, God. And that, folks, is how Kesha was made. Sorry, that was like Kesha. I mean, when she came out in like early 2009, 10, or that hit TikTok, she looked like she would be sticky. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, for the first few years, I was like, do I want to kind of do you want to touch her? Like, you feel she'd be a little clammy, right? And then she's saying fucking glitter in every song at least 20 fucking times. So what is this fascination with glitter is beyond me. It's the same thing with like Ja Rule. You know, I swear to God, GM must have been he must have been getting a plug for every time he said Yukon or Tahoe in his songs. Because he's either rolling up in a Tahoe or something's going down in the backseat of a Yukon.
To be fair, who hasn't had something go down in the backseat of a Yukon?
People who haven't had a Yukon to go down in the backseat in, I guess. I was fortunate enough to have both a Tahoe and a Yukon growing up, so I want my mommy. No, it's we're done now. We got a flashback back to the '90s, so hopefully the viewers can understand what we're talking about with '90s and maybe early 2000s.
It was a wild time.
What was the fastest way to give you computer aids? Fucking LimeWire. Fucking LimeWire.
Me trying to download the Foo Fighters album for 3 days to give my family computer AIDS.
Yeah, and you only get half the album, and then the other part of it, you see like I don't know. I mean, shit, there was some fucked up crap. Like you think it's the song "Numb" by Linkin Park, and all of a sudden now your computer's running in the dirt, and you think you downloaded a Donkey Show. It's like, what the fuck? I'd be numb too if you're taking 20 inches of donkey dick.
It's disgusting and it's gross, and I can't look away.
Whatever you do, do not watch. Well, wait till you're at least like 18 to watch Clerks 2, kids. No plot given away there. Yeah. We were talking about at work last night, not to change the subject, but it was a little extreme. Like, we're talking about Final Destination movies. I don't know how many of you seen, if you've seen them all. I've seen 1, 2, and 3, right? I haven't seen the latest one that came out a few years ago. And I was telling them, I go, that it's considered like a horror movie, right? A scary movie, horror movie, call it whatever you want. But the deaths were so far-fetched, you couldn't help but laugh. But I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of people dying, by no means, 100%. If someone dies, that's someone's family member. Someone's losing a loved one, right? But the kid getting smashed by this huge piece of glass, like, come the fuck on.
To this day, I refuse to drive behind a tractor trailer with telephone poles on it.
Oh yeah, no. I pass one at least one. Yeah, I'm not behind them. I'm gonna pass them. Like, no. I've seen this story before.
I know how
this ends. Yeah, no. I'm gonna go by you. I will risk getting a speeding ticket. I am not dying today.
You get pulled over.
As I'm sitting here driving,
the cop pulled you over. He's like, "Sir, why were you speeding?" I was like, "Did you not see that tractor trailer with the telephone poles on?" He's like, "It drives by."
You, but I'm not about it.
He's like, "I understand. You're clear to go."
I think if you pull that one, if you have that certain situation, I think it's written in the law. Like, if you pass a log truck to get away because you don't want Final Destination to happen to you, it's like a get out of free jail card. It's got to be written somewhere. I think it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah. It's right up there with your wife is giving birth or you've been shot and you got to get to the hospital. Like, all completely understandable. Oh, my father's dying. Okay, go ahead. Go right ahead. Be safe. Oh, my wife's giving birth in the back seat. Okay, go ahead. I passed a tractor trailer with telephone poles. Okay, get it. Go ahead.
I just wasn't paying attention. Oh, no. See, to me, if you see a log truck, you are paying attention, and you're outweighing a risk, in my eyes. So you're speeding for your safety.
Yeah, and possibly everybody else's as well. Because if that log goes through your car, and you're also fucking up everybody behind you and everybody else on the road.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't want to ruin everyone else's day. I just don't want my day to be ruined. Like, let me get by this log truck, then whatever happens, happens. Jesus, take the fucking wheel. We're talking about cops and, like, letting you go. A few years ago, when I used to work up in the city, Rochester, I was coming home, and generally when I drive the speed of traffic, right? They say the safest speed is the flow of traffic.
Yeah.
Well, I found like these group of cars. There's like 4 or 5. That's including me, and we're all toting about doing 80, right? Speed limit 65. I'm not. It's 11:30. 11:45 at night. I mean, there's no one else on the highway. It's I'm just literally cruising. It's not like I'm being an asshole about it or nothing. Well, somehow I didn't see the trooper or whatever, the cop, right? And I got pulled over. And how why I pulled you over? Yes, I do. I didn't admit it, but I go, yes, I do. I know why. The rule number 1: don't admit to nothing. You can say why, but don't say why I was speeding. Just 2. You go, why were you going 83? And I go, officer, I was traveling the speed of traffic. And he was like, the other group of cars. I go, that was traffic. Was it not? He pondered. I gave him my license. He didn't go even back to his car to run it. He's like, hey, just slow it down and let me off. I was 18 above the speed limit. That would have been at least probably 2, 3 points at most on my license.
Yeah.
And he let
If
me
you were
go.
by, if you were by yourself, it would have been a completely different story, you know. But because there's 4 or 5 other cars on the road and you're just kind of cruising along with them,
You know, if
you
I'm the
know.
one who got tagged by the radar, okay, pull me over. You know, I'm not going to justify I don't think I justified it, but it's like, you know, I'm only doing what I've been taught through the years of driving, which I've been driving for 22 years. You know, safest speed is the flow of traffic. You know, if everyone's going above the speed limit and you run into a car that's doing the speed limit, I'm sorry, but the car that's doing the speed limit now is becoming that's it's that becoming the hazard on the roadway because now you got all these cars going faster. They have to go around it essentially. I mean, it's messed up how it flips, right? You think you're doing the right thing by going the speed limit, but if everyone's going faster than you, you are now a problem on the road.
Yeah, and that everybody always says and jokes about it. Like if you're gonna go slow, stay in the right lane, right?
Yeah,
Move
absolutely.
over for your safety and everybody else's. Um, but I can't tell you how many times I'll be on the road on the highway going to pick up Katie from work, and everybody's just cruising along at a leisurely 80 miles an hour, and then we come around a curve, and everybody has to because one guy's in the middle lane. And I'm like, why am I doing 50? It's not even the speed limit. The speed limit is 55, 60. And you're just
Yep.
in the middle
On
lane.
the, on the throughway here, if you're going less than 40, it's recommended to have the hazards on. Like at least, I've seen cars do that, especially in like inclement weather. I don't know about you. I know you grew up in Jersey and you had dealt with snow before and driving in it. And I don't know about where you live in California if you're going to have to deal with snow. I doubt it.
No.
But driving in inclement weather, you got to slow it down. And there's been times where I've had a truck for a number of years driving in the snow, and people often wonder, like, why don't you just plow right through it? It's like, well, why would I do that? Well, you got 4-wheel drive, you got this big old truck, and I'm like, so, I will put in 4-wheel drive, but I will also go what the conditions are going to allow me to go. And sorry, but if I can't see the road and there's more than a few inches of snow on the ground on the roadway, I'm going probably maybe 40, if that.
Yeah, and it's not even a matter of plowing through it. If you
It's
can't
safety
see,
at that.
if you can't see X amount of feet in front of you, you don't know if there's somebody stopped or stuck. And here you are, going 60 miles an hour in snow, and bam, in a 6, 7, 8,000 pound weapon at that point. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like, I remember when I was working up at the airport and we were having this huge snowstorm at Newark Airport. And
The good old days.
and I left early because I know it was snowing. And by the time I got on the turnpike, I couldn't see 5 feet in front of me. A complete whiteout. And I'm going slow and I'm going slow. It took me almost an hour to go one exit. And I called in. I was like, look, I'm not going to make it. I can't see in front of me. It's not safe. Friggin' the manager was like, well, you have that Jeep. You'll be fine. I got here already. I was like, first of all, you live 15 minutes away from work. All right. That's one. Two, it's already a 45-minute drive for me.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
a
a
matter.
good weather.
Yeah, it's in good weather. I was like, it's not a matter of being able to get through it. I was like, I could get through it better than anybody there. You know what I mean? I'll be at work pulling people out, you know, but it's not safe, and you have to know that. Like, sure, I could go through. Never even had to dig that Wrangler out of the snow.
Who could do it backwards?
I did it backwards. Go
Yes,
down
you did.
there, warm up the Jeep, put it in drive, put on the 4-wheel drive, and I'm like, right out, pulled over, let them friggin' plow it out. But again, I'm not spending 2 hours driving up to friggin' work just to get stuck there for 3 days when I can't see 5 feet from my freaking vehicle. It's not gonna happen.
No, I had that happen to me years ago where um where I live got hit with a nasty storm and they declared state of disaster. And so, as you know, if they declare state of emergency, state of disaster, if you're out, obviously they're like driving is not recommended. If you go out there and drive and get into an accident, your insurance company will not cover you because you drove under unfavorable conditions in a state of emergency type condition. So I remember like the state got hit with a snowstorm, state of disaster, and Caden was just born. So obviously my moral compass changed, right? I mean, before kids, snow on the ground. You remember my old Silverado? I had the 04. I've driven in plenty of snowstorms, drove home, and all that with that. I call in one time because I don't feel safe or I don't want anything to happen because I want to be there for, essentially you want to be with my son. They're like, well, you got that truck, you can make it in. It's not the fact that I can't make it in, it's the fact I can't see the road. Like the snow covered everything. You couldn't tell where the road was.
Yeah, and plus, and not even taking out the factor of you don't want to cause an accident hitting somebody else. It just snowed. It's snowing. It's white out. You were in a white friggin' truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like somebody comes sliding around the corner out of control. They don't see you. You're okay. You got your headlights on, maybe your flashers, but next thing you know, you're doing everything you can. Next thing, somebody T-bones you. Is work going to pay for it? Chances are no.
No. And it's thankfully, we haven't had snow on the ground yet, and I'm kind of like, I want snow. Where I work, I think, you've been on the New York State Thruway before, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The State Department keeps I think they pride themselves on how well they keep the Thruway clear during the winter. Because during a storm, all you see is the plow trucks just going constantly, right? The Thruway is probably one of the safest highways to be driving on during a snowstorm because of the trucks being out constantly.
Yeah.
So
the Turnpike and Parkway was the same way.
This is the way I take to work. And then at 2 turns and I'm there off the Thruway. So all I got to do is combat a state route, but whatever. But I'll pass that, I'll cross that bridge when I get there, when it happens, to see, okay, how does this town, clear their roads, and am I worried about it? No, because I'm like, as soon as I get off the highway, it's like 5 more minutes, I'm at work. It's right there. Yeah, we've been all over the place with this topic. We talked about football. We talked about donkey dicks. There was
Your
fire.
favorite topic, I know.
Yeah, I stared the guy in the heart with a trident. Yeah, I saw that. Brick killed a man. Brick killed a guy. Fucking log truck. I'm not even bullshit. Just got on the Thruway. I'm not even bullshit. I called it right there. Just got on. Heading east.
and with that, we've come full circle. And he's in this last little rabbit hole we were on. I know you're almost at work, so we've been doing this for like an hour and 10 minutes now.
It's always fun. Always fun.
I'll let you go. Have a good day at work. Good night.
You have a good day, morning.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys do in California.
We do drugs and fight people in the friggin' Walmart parking lot.
it's so you did that. These people in Jersey do that. Except, yeah, but except they have gel in their hair and they're Italian. You go. Da, 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 da.
We round up all the homeless people and make them fight behind Target. The
Oh, so you
winner
mean bum fights? You mean bum
for,
fights.
for legal purposes, it is not called bum fights.
You know the gun. Not the last topic. Last topic. You know you remember you seen the videos of bum fights.
Yeah.
You know
Fight
the
over chicken
guy.
sandwich.
You know the guy, right? He got invited to go on Dr. Phil. He shows up on the show
Just like
dressed
that.
up as Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil
was
kicked him
having
off the
none of it.
show, but it was just like, you're talking like, we talked about the Bills, right? Josh Allen on that 26-yard TD run, and he's walking around with the biggest balls, right? You know, like, look what he just did. That dude going on Dr. Phil, no, he's going to get ridiculed, so he dresses up as Dr. Phil. Like, that took some cojones, right? I mean, you're right in the middle, 3 o'clock, people are watching that, right? And you're like, this guy's going to try to screw me over? Fuck him. I'm dressing up as him and going on his show.
And
Like,
let's be honest, you're putting out on the internet, you're taking homeless people and making them fight over chicken nuggets and freaking $20 bills and a 40. Do you really think he cares if he embarrasses himself on live television or not? Like he's already making homeless people fight for food, right? To make himself famous and rich. He had zero issue with going out dressed up as Dr. Phil on Dr. Phil.
that guy made his bank, right? Doing that, right? I mean, call it the exploitation of people. And his argument was, well, isn't that what you do on this show, Dr. Phil? Just in a different way. We can go, I'm not diving down the rabbit hole of definition of exploitation, but in a sense, he did have a point, right? I mean, I was like, God dang, that is, it's kind of, it was a point. I mean, like, holy shit, right?
Yeah. I'm not saying he's right or what he did was right or okay, but
morally, I mean, did I watch a few of the fights and thought it was kind of hilarious watching two bums fight for a Happy Meal? I'll be lying if I didn't, right? I mean, it's the same thing of watching like Jackass, right? Going up in the 2000s, Jackass came out. What did we try to do in our fucking backyards? I don't know about you, but when I saw Steve-O trying to tropical pole vault, I found a fucking like 8-foot beam and I was launching myself into whatever I could fucking find.
yeah, the mid to late 90s going into the early 2000s was kind of a wild time, right? In the sense it's probably nothing that previous generations didn't do already. I'm
Right.
sure our parents did some stupid stuff when they were kids.
We know that. We know both of our parents got shit.
The only difference was the internet was starting to really become a thing, especially in the late 90s, and you had things like ECW, hardcore wrestling, Japanese death matches, were really becoming a thing. Spam callers, and then when the internet really started becoming a thing in the early 2000s, you had things like Bum Fight, you had Jackass, you had Girls Gone Wild, you had all this stuff that was like.
That was the most aggressive 30 seconds of jerking off I've ever done is on a Girls Gone Wild commercial. Jesus Christ.
And it's like, again, not saying, immorally or ethically if Bum Fights was right. You could say Girls Gone Wild was exploitative as well. And I now that I'm 41, I might not disagree with you. that block of maybe 10 years, from like 95 to 2005, like friggin' with Real World and hardcore wrestling and the birth of the internet, the friggin' bum fights, Girls Gone Wild, the Real World, friggin' MTV Spring Break. It was just like, as a 17, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid at the time, it was like,
Does anyone remember watching scrambled porn?
yeah, like, oh shit, I just saw a titty. And you made sure you had like PBS as a return channel.
Yeah, if you were blessed enough to have a remote to have that button.
Mom walks. You hear your mom walking in. You turn it back on, and you got friggin' Sesame Street on. What are you watching? Just some wholesome family television, Mom.
Fucking hey, I caught the train. God bless America.
Context is key with what you just said.
Yeah, I know, right? We're just talking.
I just caught the train. If you weren't driving, that was suspicious.
Well, it is what it is, right?
But yeah.
Oh, we went on for another 5 more minutes, 6 minutes.
And
And we go on. It's just all of a sudden tangent, scramble porn, tangent.
And for the sake of spending another 5 minutes on this, the other day I was like trying to I went on the orange YouTube Pornhub because it's not blocked here like in some places. And I was like, I went in and typed in like an old porn star from like the early 2000s. Just to see the videos from back then. And I was like, man, we thought this was so amazing. It's not even hot. And then one that led to oh yeah, what about this person? Oh, what about that person? Oh shit, Heather. Just and I'm like,
the porn stars of our generation growing up are, if they're still in it now, it's granny porn, right?
yeah.
I mean,
but
you can retire, right? You know that.
you really love your job, don't you?
No one wants your dusty ass.
Wait, you know what? Yeah, again, this is clearly hypothetical. Tara Patrick might be in her 50s or 60s at this point. But to say that I did it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to say I did it.
Tara Patrick, Jenna Jameson.
And again, now that I'm older, this is going to be a hot take for a lot of people. For the half a dozen people that will see this. Now that I'm older, Jenna Jameson, not that hot. To be honest, she's not ugly, but it's not that hot. Oh, a blonde chick with big tits for a 12-year-old. That's a.
Now find a video of her for 20 years ago. Okay, now we're cooking with Crisco.
Lather that up with peanut butter.
You would do peanut butter.
You get lonely, you get lonely.
What's your favorite type? What's your favorite type of jelly? You going with strawberry or grape?
Strawberry.
Okay. I'm a grape guy on a PB&J.
Yeah, and I got to step up from the regular jelly. It's not just jelly. I got to go jam because you can't jelly that the stick. but preserves is too much. Jelly's not enough. I like the happy medium.
The jam.
Yeah, strawberry jam.
I prefer the grape jelly, grape jam. I will eat strawberry, but if I had a preference, it'd be grape on a PB&J.
Now, were you a creamy or chunky peanut butter?
See, peanut butter, I didn't mind. I didn't mind having the crunchy. I didn't mind having creamy. If I had both in front of me, I think I would rather be like, you know what, I'm gonna have a crunchy today. That didn't bug me at all, crunchy peanut butter.
And when I was a kid, it was strictly creamy. Now that I'm an adult, I'm like, I don't mind the crunchy peanut butter, but still, like if I'm gonna go buy peanut butter, I'm gonna go
You
get
buy grape.
a jar of Skippy creamy peanut butter. And
Ooh, what's your favorite brand of peanut butter? You said Skippy.
Skippy. I'm a Skippy person. Yeah,
My,
everything else for me is too. I'm not gonna say thick because I like thick.
I like thick. I like thick. Thick. Dumb thick stuff.
Skippy is just smoother, I'd say.
I'm peanut butter. I'm not. I'm not a brand snob. I know my wife. She prefers Peter Pan, but Skippy is a close second. She won't. I won't buy a thing. Like, to me, if the jar just said peanut butter, it looks like peanut butter. It's peanut butter.
That's like how guys are with shampoo, right? Women buying shampoo. It's like, oh, it's got argan oil and avocado oil and vitamins B and A and C. I'll take this, and it smells like uh, rose bushes. Guys, we go down the aisle to pick up a bottle, says shampoo. We put it in the
It's shampoo.
it's like, oh, men's, 3-in-1 body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. We would buy a friggin' 15-in-1.
Oh
Body
yeah,
wash,
absolutely.
shampoo, conditioner, motor oil,
Laundry
WD-40,
detergent. Laundry detergent.
If we could get everything all in one bottle, it could be like a 15-in-1. We'd do it.
We know a good deal when we see it.
Yeah.
Duh. Well, I will end. I'm officially at my parking lot at work. Till next week.
Till next week. It was a good one.
All right.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so did I.
All righty.
All right, take it easy.
Next warrior time, next warrior location.
Yep. See ya.